Welcome back to another episode of the Ark Survival Guide. Today we are going to take our Paracer Tank on a journey across the Highlands. This is a perfect place for this guy because there's a lot of open space to walk around, and with such a big dino and a tank on his back, it's nice to have some empty space here. So if you missed it on the earlier episodes, we built an entire stone fortress on the back of a Paraceratherium, and it's pretty impressive. It's quite overpowered, and we're having a lot of fun with it. But today we're going to head back to our waterfall base and watch the rest of this to see how that goes. So here we are. We just got back from parking our dolphin in that huge cave underneath the lighthouse. And the next phase of our journey, we are going to head back to Viking Bay on our floating fortress. So the first thing I really need to do is bring this Paracer tank back up to the waterfall base that we built earlier, the one we called Bag End. And they're probably running reasonably low on food out there because I basically built the base just to keep my unicorn safe. And I didn't put a ton of supplies in there, so we're probably going to need quite a few berries. So if you don't know, a Paracer is great for harvesting berries. I'm using the right trigger to use his special attack, and that will just smash everything around and grab berries from all the bushes nearby. Now I'm setting the ordering group to tame ordering group 1, which is only selecting this Paracer. So you can see her head poking out from the bottom. She's a little difficult to deal with because if you walk to the front, Paracers are really friendly, and she will actually try to poke her head up, and if she picks me up underneath her head, then it'll drag me right through the foundation and I will just get stuck on top of there. It's happened to me before. So every time that happens, I try to jump and get out of the way, and it's this little thing we always have going. It's fun. So check it out. This is the Highlands on Ragnarok. If you've joined us recently, it's a really nice open expanse, just beautiful rolling hills, and it's a great place to live and also a great place to walk around with this base. So of course for once, when I actually want this dino's head to poke out so I can jump on the base, it won't do it. But check it out. I use the whistle commands, which is on a PS4. It's the L1 button and up on the D-pad at the same time. And that will put a green arrow out in the world, and your dino will walk towards it. So I can actually tell my base to walk, and it'll just keep walking, and I can just hang out for the ride or go do something else, and my base will keep walking wherever I told that dinosaur to go. So I'm not seeing a lot of dangerous animals out here. I'm a little bit disappointed because we just picked a fight with a pack of allosaurs recently. So one thing I'm doing here, you can see we ran out of stamina because we've been sprinting a lot. I'm not even driving this dino anymore. It's kind of ridiculous. This base is walking on its own, and I'm trying to access the saddle from this little hatch that I made. There we go. Oh, looks like Triceratops got a little bit too close to our turrets. So I'm back inside now and under control, but the whole time I was off of the saddle, the dino was walking without me, and it was almost out of stamina when I told it to start moving, but then when I hopped back on, its stamina was completely full again. So that's a little trick that I found that will allow us to walk pretty quickly without really having to rest on this Paracer. And you can see we're making pretty good time across this huge valley, and we haven't even really started to beef up the movement speed on this guy yet, but once you increase the movement speed a lot, you go even faster. But look at that scenery. Those mountains in the background are the redwoods that we trekked through in order to get that beaver, which is safely on our raft. We're keeping all of our dinos safe there. And well, that was a pretty nice level on that Pteranodon. I would have liked a chance to tame that because we actually lost our Pteranodon in the redwoods. But, it's a little too late once we see that little, message flash up there that we've shot him down accidentally. So, if you're new to this channel, we've got these 4 turrets on top of our base. They are actually plant species X, and there's going to be a playlist at the end of this episode, which will have a lot of episodes. It'll teach you how to do pretty much everything up to this point. And they're amazing to have those turrets on top because they'll just shoot down anything that's going to cause us any trouble out here. So that makes it for a pretty safe journey, and I don't think anything's really going to bother us out here. Another interesting thing about the Highlands is there's a lot of ruins out here. Oh, looks like I'm able to collect rare flowers. That's cool. But some of these ruins, like this one, actually have crops growing out of them. And we've got some potato plants growing right down there. And if you start in the Highlands, there's hardly any wood or thatch to build with, but there's actually a pretty good supply of food just growing out here in the ruins. And you can also get rock carrots out of those ruined areas. And those can be used to tame a horse, even on your first day, which is kind of an interesting way to play. I actually tried it out when I was making this series to see if I liked this area, but I just couldn't level up at all because there was no trees and thatch. Like you can see, there's like a mile between every tree, so it just wasn't really worth the trouble. And that's why I ended up in Viking Bay. So let's see if we can get this guy to keep moving. There we go. Now she's walking without me. And we can just be along for the ride on this base. It's kind of hard to jump in that saddle. It gets a little bit glitchy. Uh-oh. So I've got no control of this base at the moment, but it looks like we're shooting down all the horses around, which I feel kind of bad about. I don't like shooting horses. But at the same time, they are a good source of pelt and wool. The sheep are a good source of wool, the horses are a good source of pelts, but both of those can be used to make some clothing that'll protect us from cold, which we'll need later on. And we're also going to use it for bug repellent for when we want to actually tame a bee. So here we are, this is the waterfall that we built a base inside. And we've got some big walls blocking off the entrance to this cave. So everything back there is pretty darn safe. And we even have a little plant species X turret that's guarding the back of that base. You can see there's a hole in the top where we can fly a pteranodon through. I didn't really bother closing it up completely because the odds of something flying in there that's dangerous are pretty low, and our turret should make quick work of it if anything does get in there. But it's going to be extra safe here because we're going to park this gigantic tank in front of it, and we've got 4 turrets that'll just mow down anything that comes to give us trouble here. So this is a pretty safe spot right here, and there's a lot of plants growing around this waterfall. So I've been harvesting a bunch of them, so we'll have a few hundred berries to put in the feeding trough down here. So this should be a pretty good spot. You can see I'm actually completely blocking off the entire entrance to the cave with this fortress. That's another kind of cool thing about this Paracer fortress is that it's got solid walls all the way around it, but you can basically use it as a massive dinosaur gate. And you can basically make a gate that's about 3 stories high and all the way across. So you can just block stuff off with it, aside from using it to tame things by squeezing them underneath it and things. So you can make a lot of uses out of just the fact that we have a good solid stone walls that we can move around. I happen to be stuck on the edge of these walls. There's this little glitch that happens right in that spot. So I'm having a couple of little places that I've got to be careful of. But this is a fully functional base right here inside this tank, so there's a lot of fun stuff we can do. I'm going to make sure that the Paracer has a lot of berries on it, just to make sure that it doesn't starve, because if that dino ever actually dies, we should lose the entire base, which is not something we want. But this should be more than enough berries to tie over our dinos until we get back. So I'm going to go ahead and unload the berries in the trough, and then I will put my my outfit down, and we will just teleport back to the floating fortress. And in the next episode, we're going to take the fortress back down the coast. We'll drop off some dinos here, and I will actually try to breed those Doedicurus. So if you're interested in how to breed dinosaurs and get more of them without having to tame any, I believe in the next couple episodes I will actually do a full tutorial on how to do that. So thanks for watching and tune in next time. Thanks so much for watching our video from the Ark Survival Guide. This is an amazing game, and it's sometimes really hard to learn how to survive, but we are dedicated to teaching you how to not just survive, but how to thrive and have lots of fun on this amazing game. So we have a series for just a Let's Play, so you can watch how we've conquered this vast open world. And we also have a guide series with specific guides on how to do certain things that are a little bit more confusing or difficult on this game. So be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We are constantly creating new videos for you to enjoy. So you can travel through your journey on Ark with us and learn how to do everything you need to know to survive in this game. So thanks for watching, and we will continue to bring you great content that is suitable for the entire family, except maybe the occasional dinosaur poop. What can you do? This is Ark. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon on the next video.